What's up, guys? Blue White Party. Look at this! Oh, look at this! Raven is the Raven is the donor! Look at him! Look at me! Look at him! Mouth! Three, and he's eagle, he's Spider-Man! Oh! Three times! You need Chihuahua! You need three! Three Lucy! Three money! You can and then you can special summon! Oh, and then little baby! Oh, and then it says your little baby! And then you and then you can dodo! If you have 2 plus 2 equal 3! Oh! 2 plus 1 is 3! Oh no! Oh! 2 plus 1. Oh, if you... Oh, 3 into the 4. That's a really good goal. Oh, Raven only number 1, and they could know. Oh, 1 eye. Oh, no. Oh, and he may no go. And then we put another one there. Oh, another sinana. Three. And they just America. And they get ocho no menaco. Dos. And then you looky. Oh. Arimion. Arikikatas. Repetata Machiney. This is a no, foolish ball. Hey, what's up, guys? Blue Eyes White Boy here. Give you guys a really standard deck profile here. I'm gonna explain the cards the best I can for you guys, because I know some of you like to personal message me, and they say, hey, not only do I want an updated list, I want you to give me a one-on-one lesson on how to use the deck. So I'm explaining some of the choices. 3 Grimo, everyone's like, oh, it's standard. They push up the glasses. Oh, it's standard. You have to have triple Grimo. It's a searcher. 1700 attack. It's just cruising for a bruising. This card, I actually went double Quasar without it. I always thought it was too slow. I thought it was, it just drains your opening hand. I used to play a lot of dead cards. And you can get Raven. In the original build, I have double Raven. Oops, my one-day piece went into the glitch universe. But yeah, I told you I'd give you guys the original build. It's pretty funny. There's Into the Void and 2-day, one-day pieces. One-day pieces, I just like, oh man, this card is just cheap and it's just broken. And it's like, oh, and it was just making my skin crawl. And I mean, I'm not like super afraid of spiders or anything, but I think of spiders when I see this card, and I just didn't like seeing it. And it was just making my skin crawl. It was making me really itchy. It was a lot of work, so I just took one of those out. But yeah, you want to run 3 of these, and I'm thinking about what to take out. But I just didn't like, it's just irrational reasons. But yeah, I can get into that later. So yeah, anyway, the cruise is probably the biggest change in the deck compared to, like, I don't know, whatever my ones were before. I mean, I've tried 1, 2, and 3. I think 2 is the best. I really do think 2 is the best. So maybe 2 cruise for the one-day piece. That's pretty standard. You can take it out for an Into the Void. I'll get into the Void in a little bit, but so Nizuchi, he gets to special summon. It has to be level 2 though. You can't special summon Ganashas, but basically he empties your hand, and since we have 23 monsters, we're gonna need a lot of emptying of the hands. He makes all your opening hands not dead, which is why 3 Cruise is nice with 3 Nizuchi. But back when I was running, like, I don't know, I was running like super dead cards when I first started with the double Quasar stuff. I had tons of dead cards and not enough Fableds, and that's why this guy was dead. So I stuck him to 1 because at least Grimrow can search him. But I like 2 of these guys. But yeah, 3 is the best. You need a lot of monster counts so you can get a lot of stars, so you can get a lot of monsters, so you can get a lot of Quasars. So that's why I loaded up on monsters for this one. You know, he's another discard outlet. We do have these 3. We have excavations and, you know, Raven is discard outlet. But the point is, and card destruction. But yeah, the point is, Raven is a really good card because you get to normal summon 1, and you could probably get it off with his effects as far as special summoning. So yeah, his effect is really good. Also empties your hand, and yeah, I find myself usually making him level 4. But a great thing is if he's level 3, there's not really a level 2 non-tuner besides Cruise. So that's why again, Nizuchi is pretty good. It's very inconvenient when making the 3rd Quasar. I mean, you really have to San Francisco your way into the 3rd one. I'm telling you. Oh yeah, and since my my base is 13 to 17s, I can cut down on the swearing. I don't want your moms to be like, "What are you watching?" And it's like, "Mom, I'm watching a Blue Eyes White Boy," and it's like, "But Mom," and then I'm like, "Bounce it, bounce," and I'm like freaking, you know. Like, bounce that shit, bounce that shit. Bounce it. It's like, bounce it, and then like you like summon it, and then you're like, bounce it, and then you get it back to your hand. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? And then you're like, normal summon it, like, bounce it, and then they're like, what the fuck? And it's like, wait, let me read that shit. It's like, fuck you, it's in my hand. It's like normal summon. They're like, let me read it. Then they read it. And they're like, holy shit. And then you're like, bounce it, and then you're like, fuck. And then they're like, well, fuck, I'll just set that card again. It's like, all right, summon, bounce it. Oh man. And then they're like, turn it off right now. Turn off those Yu-Gi-Oh games. Those games are the devil. I know how moms can be. And then it goes to card destruction. You gotta have card destruction. It really helps your opponent, you know. No, I think it's I always think it's hilarious when people are like, oh my god, card destruction's so good. I totally messed up my opponent. You know, I messed up my opponent with card destruction. Oh yeah, he had all those good cards. You know, he had like Dandelion, Glow Up Bulb, Spore. I just picked them off. It's just like, dude, like you have to realize they get a new hand. Their hand couldn't have been that good. But yeah, you know, card destruction. It's a really broken card. I mean, yeah, you know, we just need way more of those cards. We need more broken cards in the game. You know, this game does not have enough broken cards. So if I could write a letter to Konami, you know, I tell them to make more broken cards, and I'm sure I'd get a letter back, and they'd be happy to do that for me because without broken cards, I mean, like, how am I gonna play the game? I need these Quasars on the field. I need all of them. Okay. Arriba. So yeah, do it. Thank you. Next card over that, I'm pretty sure it's Charcoal Dealings. Yep, it's Charcoal Dealings. So these guys are just broken. I mean, you could try running 2. I just think that's really stupid. The Darkwold Dealings is a really good card because it's a spell and you can set it. Speed spell 1, so you can set it. So I mean, the difference between that and Nizuchi, if you have a dead Nizuchi and you're about to do your Raven nonsense, with the Dealings you can set it. And then, you know, do your shenanigans, where with the Nizuchi you just have to eat it. So I really like Dealings. I would run 5. I would probably run 6. See how that goes. But usually the card limit is 3 in most tournaments. The locals I go to, you know, they let you run 40 cards of the same thing. So okay, so Dealings. I mean, you could try it too. I'd be surprised if something worked out for you, but I'm always just like, man, if I only had another Dealings, rats nibbles. But you know, certain builds, certain formulas, and certain variance levels. Go ahead, try 2 Dealings. I like to see what you'd put in its place. That's what I want to know. 3-Pot of Greed. I run these because drawing 2 cards is nice. 2 cards average is nice. I mean, I am going for Triple Quasar. I would like if it. I'd like it if I could you know, get a +1, please. Thank you. Yeah, standard play here. We got a librarian and a formula, which happens. So this card I run it too because it has a 2 in the top, and it's like it has that red circle and that white It has the white 2 with the black background and the red circle, so you got to do what that thing says. So that's what I do. Reborn, it's a really good card. In this deck, you know, I think it's a good card just in general. Like, it's a pretty good. I don't like to use the word staples because when I was in kindergarten, I stapled my hand or my finger to the what's it called, to the table, and that thing hurt. So I don't you know, and I've hated staples ever since. So, but I want to win. I'm kind of like, you know, I kind of like want to win sometimes. So I run quote unquote. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to use it, but I run quote unquote staples. But I don't call them staples because I have bad memories of those. So I usually say mandatory cards or, you know, standard, stuff like that. I'll make up a different word depending on the day. But yeah, Reborn, it basically takes a monster from your graveyard, and don't take their monsters because they're always like scrubby. Like, you can look over there, like you can like peek your nose in there, it's like, oh god, that's gross. And you see their monsters, you know, they have like you know, they'll have like a freaking Caius. It's like, really, dude? And so, but yeah, stick to your own graveyard because the graveyard is it's not really, they're not really dead. Don't think of them as being dead in the graveyard. They're just in the tool shed, okay? And this thing is gonna, it's our tool, and the graveyard is a toolbox. That's exactly what it is in Yu-Gi-Oh. The remove from play pile used to be a graveyard. It's like, wow, he's like in a different place. Like, I used to consider those cards being in San Francisco. That's a really far place away, you know? And now that's a toolbox too. So eventually there's going to be a new pile, like a third zone, and it's going to be like, what? How did he get there? Oh man. And but as of now, I consider the third zone being the bottom of the deck. Because, like, good luck getting one of those. Oh wait, Rhoda! One Day of Peace, I like to call it One Day of Upstart because you draw one. It's like, yeah. So yeah, I say 3 is mandatory. If you're gonna play the deck practically with a practical version of it, I'd main heavy. That's my only advice, because if you main like heavy and a space, then it's just like more dead. But if you go first, side out the heavy, and if you go second, you could probably side in a space and a heavy, maybe 2 space. Depends on what their deck is. You can side pretty much whatever you want, but I'm going to talk about these later. Avarice, yeah, it's like it's a stat. I mean, look at him; he has like that tongue. And people used to think this card was good when it was at 3. It wasn't. Like, it wasn't. There's like, people would be like, yeah, I'm running double avarice. It's like, you're stupid. It's like, you know, you look at them and you're just like SMH. And now that it's at 1, it's a really good card. So if it has a 1 on it, you know it's good. All right, for you guys that didn't know that, now you know. And then the best card in the deck, Upstart Goblin. People say it thins your deck. I think it's a little bit better than that. You pretty much activate it, and then you draw 1 card. So, I mean, thinning your deck, you'd have a 37 card deck. It'd be harder to shuffle. Your opponent wouldn't get the life points, and then you wouldn't get to throw it down and then draw. So I'd say this is just more fun. But also, if you have a librarian and you have a Ragin, you can actually set Upstart in synchro. Now, usually when you see this, there's a gut reflex to just activate it. Just snap activate it before they get their, you know, Naturias out there. You want to activate your your Upstart before it's dead. No, seriously. Like, I've known people who have set this card. Seriously, like this is a pro tip. This is a pro nub tip right here. You set your Upstart, and then they MST it, and then that, I mean, that is some funny stuff right there. So yeah, but yeah, just in this deck, you're just gonna want to activate it and draw cards. So these and these is basically gonna give you a bigger monster count. The only way you open dead is Into the Void. Oh, and by the way, with Into the Void, why people say only 1, I'd say 2 is fine. Go ahead, run 2, but even 3 is pretty good. I mean, the thing is, like, when you set your stuff and you do your Raging plays, you'll get Into the Void, and you're done. It's just like, have you ever played Minesweeper, where you, like, land on a bomb, and it's just like, you're done? Not so much Minesweeper, it's more like Free Cell, where, like, you're doing your moves, everything's going good, and then there's a big pop-up in your face, and it's like, you're dead, stop trying. And that's what Into the Void is. But when you run it at 1, it's never going to happen. And by the way, if you run this in a tournament, do not run into the void. Yeah, I could talk about making a practical version of it later, but people are like, oh, can I net deck, take it to a YCS? It's like, dude, this isn't for a YCS, this is for opening Triple Quasar. And also, some people say, or some like pros, you know, you show it to Asian Persuasion, WK Dad, they're like, nice, bro, but it's not consistent, right? Or that's Asian Persuasion, maybe not WK Dad. Yo, homie, yo, it's not consistent though. Like these scrubs on DN thinking they're the she's. That's more like WK Dad. But no, seriously, like this deck is very consistent. Like if I open up if I just open first rank Quasar, I'm like throwing up. I'm like brr, brr. So yeah, you guys are free to make changes to this. You can net deck it off the net. You know, it's kind of like, I feel like it's kind of like a you know, a person who makes statues. You know, they spend thousands of hours carving this masterpiece, and then it's completed and they're exhausted, and then they give it away. So now the person has the masterpiece, but they never had to create it themselves. They didn't have to, you know, put in thousands of hours of, you know, like pick off this piece, pss, 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 like that. So net decking, I'm not jealous of those people. I mean, like, yes, you get my masterpiece, and then whatever the medium of exchange is can be equivalent to them giving me credit, let's say, which I don't want, by the way. Oh, Blue Eyes White Boy, we have to give him credit, guys. Yeah, band together. No, it's not like that. But what I'm saying is, what's fun is not looking at a masterpiece. That's not what's fun. What's fun is making it. And making it, you know, takes a lot of time, and that's what's fun. You're chiseling. It's like, oh, it's gonna come out, and then you're making a statue of Hercules, and it comes out as a donkey. It's like, oh, it's a little donkey, and it's like, no one wants to buy that shit. It's like, oh fuck, oops, it's a donkey. It's like, you know, like Shrek wouldn't even hang out with that thing. And I mean, look at all these. I have a video with it in slow-mo, and it's like, look at all my masterpieces, but it's like you know, everything except the master part. It's just the pieces. And the story about how this deck actually was made is, I was playing. I always thought Fableds were cute. You know, they're cute. They're kind of funny. And you know, I didn't want to read them. It's just like, okay, they're tier 3. That's what you hear about. My friend Robert at school, he's like, all right, first things first, 3 Grimro. And I'm just like, dude, enough, please. I'm just like, not. I was like, do not want to deal with that. And then he's, you know, really into him and stuff. And then, like, you know, a year later, somebody else is like, oh my god, top to locals 4-0, stick it. They're like, woohoo. And it's like, good for you, man. But it's just like not worth reading yet. It's still not worth reading. And then I'm on DN 6 months ago. This guy just beats my ass. Beats my ass like he was a scrub, and he beat my ass. And he was running Fableds with like all this weird shit. And he got out a shooting Quasar Dragon. All right, a shooting Quasar Dragon, which required at the time a tuner synchro monster plus 2 or more non-tuner synchro monsters. So when I saw that he got it out with this deck that I said sucked, and this guy sucked, and he ran cards that sucked. Like, he just ran terrible cards. And he got out a shooting Quasar Dragon. And I just fell in love with it, being owned by this scrub, being owned by this kid. So I go and I have my chisel and my sword, and the statue that I'm working on, you know, it's not a solid block of white chunk, and there's a picture I have in mind. It already has some chunks taken off of it. It's already, you know, 12% done. Like, you can see it. It's like, oh yeah, I can see the Quasar right now. So I had my chiseler and my chisel, and I come in and I start chisel. And sure enough, I like dropped a Quasar like once every 8 games. And I'm running all the shit that he was. I mean, I wasn't running. Actually, you know, I knew at the time that his cards were shit. Like, I could tell. But I started reading the Fabled cards, and that's what helped me the most. I was like, and I just wanted the Quasars. I'm just like, all right, what do I need? He's a tuner, so I need it. He is a non-tuner, so I need it. So I was like, all right. So I throw those in there. I'm just like, I just throw all this shit in. And he was running like Gates of the Dark World, which, you know, makes sense. He's a fiend. Let's see where he's fiend. These are fiends. So like you discard those. He's a fiend too. So all these guys are fiends. So you basically, these guys are all the rest of them are beasts. Yeah. So yeah, I was running Gates. Activating, you know, removing them, all cool, discarding. And then, you know, guys were coming out. And I was dropping some Quasars, and I'm just like, I was like, what's going on here? Like, what's going on? And then, as I started chiseling away, getting my complete picture 50% done, I'm chiseling, and I realized that after I get the Quasar, I got room, baby. Like, there's shit to do. Like, there's shit to do. So I'm going, you know, Quasar with all these monsters, and I finally get out a first turn Quasar plus like 2 Ragens and a Reborn with Formula Engrave is basically what happened. I was like, oh my god, like if I Reborn this Formula, I could go into a second Quasar, which I didn't have in my extra deck. And all this was coming along when I was learning how to, you know, record games and stuff. So that's when I decided to go you know, put the double Quasar in there. And once I made the deck, I mean, once I made the double Quasar, all I had to do was repeat it, and which I did. You know, decks will do that. And then I'd say my double Quasar was really close, but I went through some frustrating stuff. I mean, I was running one of these guys at one point, 0 of these. I was like, okay, he sucks. You know, if you ever look at anybody else's statues, they all just blew chunks. Like, you couldn't even base anything, really. And then, you know, after basically the double Quasar, and, you know, went on YouTube and people were seeing it. Since it had no audio, it was getting likes. Since this video has audio, I mean, you can look down right now, there's a lot of dislikes. But I'm telling you, this double Quasar video that I had just tons of likes. And then the devastating thing happened where pretty early in the process, where somebody found a misplay with the desynchro. So basically, desynchro says you have to target a face-up synchro monster, return to the extra deck. Then, if all of the monsters that were used for the synchro summon were in your graveyard, you get those exact monsters. So you have to start keeping track if you're using this in a tournament or something. But anyway, I synchroed into a guy with 2 monsters, or with 3 monsters, and I desynchroed 2 monsters to split them back up, to resynchro for them. And a guy pointed it out. I said, dude, great job. I was like, thanks for pointing that out. I'll give you some E points. But it was earlier on while making the double Quasar. And although it didn't say anything bad about the deck, it did, you know, it did kind of sting. His comment started getting a lot of thumbs up. No one noticed it. I didn't notice it. Actually, I did notice it after I had it up for a little bit, and I was just like, oh shit. But it didn't have that many views. I was like, maybe no one will notice. I don't even know. But I thought to myself, I was like, I'll just give the first person credit because someone will find that. I mean, a lot of people don't even know what desynchro does. But anyway, I started getting more dislikes after that. People were like, oh my god, like, but they just totally missed the point that, you know, the statue's there. It's just missing the sword that's in his hand. Like, it's a prop. Like, you put a sword in his hand, and he doesn't have that. Like, oh my god, what's a statue without a sword in his hand? That's what people were saying to me. And I was like, that sucks. Anyway, as I started playing more, I started getting, you know, some fan mail. People are like, hey, what's up on DN, or talk to me. You know, I'm talking back. Just like, yeah, what's up? Hell yeah. Which I wasn't getting before because I had, like, you know, a lot of videos before, and it's just nobody was saying what's up. They would on YouTube comments, but that's about it. So this person messaged me and was basically like, hey, what's up? I saw your videos. I really like them. You know, they're really good. They're really entertaining, stuff like that, or whatever. And I was like, hey, thanks, love you, man. Which I'd been doing recently to, like, people who were saying that. I was like, yeah, love you, man, yeah. And this person's like, well, they're like blush. Yeah, but I'm a girl. It's like, what? She's like, yeah, I'm a girl. It's like, oh my god, send pics. Lol. No, I didn't say that, but I mean, okay, I kind of did that. So anyway, we started talking and stuff. She's like, yeah, I really like your Quasar decks, and you know, yada yada yada, freaking yada. And then there was the big girl story, which is another day. But basically, she comes up and like we're going at it, and and this guy comes in and not really steals her from me. It's just, she kind of just liked him too or whatever. Just like, he was cool and stuff, and he was talking to me. And he was like a big fan of her, and he wasn't really a fan of me. He's like into himself, and I can't give him shout outs. I can't say his name or anything because I would give him a shout out. But he basically, I don't know, did the same thing I did, chiseled his way up to his own, pretty much like solid double Quasar deck. But I mean, he doesn't have like recording software device. But what I did to the kid who beat my ass 8 months ago, he did to her, which she got from me. But he made his own twist. He had some Birdmans and some Werewolves in there, which I really like, but he only had 2 Grimro. So I wasn't a big fan of his work. But hey, if you can drop Quasars, he was dropping Quasars. So my build at this point is like 95% done. And I'm like running, I'm like playing against him with some meta deck because that's what he wanted me to use. And he's, dropping his Quasars on my ass. And I'm just like, bitch. And like, if I did the same thing, he would leave. Like, that's what I feel. But he likes to do a lot of pull-ups and push-ups, and he's like buff and like abs and stuff. But anyway, his name is Thunder King. No, his name is Thunder King Ryo. Anyway, he pretty much drops. I could see where it was going. Like he was like super close to a triple. I think he might have got a triple on my ass. And if he didn't, he cheated somehow. He drew an extra card. I forget what he did, but he definitely got the triple, and he got the triple before me. And he was using stones, these stones, baby. And it was just heartbreaking. It was just heartbreaking that I was gonna have to use these stones and get the triple. I mean, he made it look possible. Because I was like, triple Quasars are not really possible because you run out of space. You get the first 2, and you have to reborn the last slot. But when you have 3 reborns, then it makes it a lot more consistent. And since these aren't really neg 2s, because you can discard Fableds, it's a excuse the word, but it's a staple. It's a staple in the double Quasar build or triple Quasar build because you get more reborns. So anyway, he used this on me, and that was. I mean, people borrow from each other all the time. I'm giving you guys the final work, but I'm just showing you guys where everything came from. The first one came from, I don't know his name. I would give him a shout out if I knew his name. That was 20%. Then I chiseled it up to 80, 90, and I took the stones. Everything else, I didn't get help from anybody, and I mean, I don't know who would know enough about Fableds to even help me, but besides the point, he actually indirectly got some of his stuff from me because he based his statue off of Alyssa, who got her statue from me. But yeah, he probably doesn't want to hear that, but I'm just trying to show you guys what's going on. So he gets these stones. He's dropping stones on these bitches. He's getting spells back. He's filling shit, and I'm like Valor, and he's like, nope, not gonna do it. Keep synchronizing. He's like, hush, hush, will you let me finish? Will you let me finish? And I'm like, yeah, go for it. And he gets the triple, and he gets it before me. And then after I threw the stones in, the deck just got consistent. The statue is pretty much complete. The sword's in the hand, and I got the triple Quasar on video, and I posted it. And I did. It takes time to edit too. You got to throw on the music. You have to find somebody who will give you music. And yeah, I put it up there. And when I see him online, I was like, dude, you got to check this out. And I show him my masterpiece. Well, he didn't like it because, quite frankly, the cherry on top is fucking his. And he's like, and you didn't shout out anybody in your description. You just said, I'm a baller. represent. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. I actually felt really bad. I was like, yeah, technically it's your cherry. I'll give you a shout out right now. He's like, fuck you. He's like, no. And I'm just like, all right. And yeah, so that's where it comes from. Not every deck has this history. I mean, I'm sure Billy Brake fucking uses like super tools, and he comes in there and makes that shit in like 6 hours, and then doesn't show anyone, comes at, whips it, jizzes all over everyone, and then goes in and makes a new masterpiece. And I think that's cool. A lot of masterpieces are based off top 32s and stuff like that. I mean, some chiseling is easier than others. Sometimes it's just like, bitch, I'm gonna throw down some cash, pick up some wins, baby, some wins. And everyone plays Yu-Gi-Oh for different reasons. Level Leader used to be good. I say if you decide to run these, totally take that guy's idea. I want to explain these really quick and why they're good, because I think Birdman has some merit at 1 in the deck, because you go Nizuchi Cerebral, and then you bounce Nizuchi for Birdman, and then you go Nizuchi and you discard another card, like Luri or something, and then you can make he makes the Librarian. But if you run 2, then the first one will make a Librarian, and the second one will be stuck, because Raijin needs he needs the Fableds to be the tuners. So I'd say run it at 1, but if you're gonna run like do something crazy and run like 3 of these, this guy is essentially a Ganesha that doesn't get banished. He just pops out there. He just swarms with, good with these guys. But yeah, if I think I want to say I've tried 3 of these, or something like that, and like a level leader. Then you can run Allure of Darkness, which is just fun. It's just more drawing, which you need. Yeah. Oh, another thing the guy got pissed off about was he was running TGs, right? So he was running TGs. So he had a werewolf, or he had like 2 or 3, 3 werewolves in his deck or something like that, and maybe like 1 Ganesha, 2 Ganesha, I forget. But and he was running this in his extra deck. So when he saw me get the triple and he saw this in my extra deck, he's like, "What the hell? You copy my TGs?" I'm just like, "What the hell?" Like, first of all, this guy does not help your deck. Okay, he doesn't. And second of all, I had him in there before. And third of all, I can give you a shout out still. So yeah, it was just funny that he said that. I think I don't know if he was serious or not, but 1-for-1, if you run level leader, you can run 1-for-1, because I mean, not only is there nothing in the deck that's dead that you can ditch, but the only thing that you can search is these 2. And I mean, the difference isn't that big of a deal when you have 3 Grimros. So I mean, 1-for-1, when I took it out, everything. Actually, this was a big breakthrough, taking 1-for-1 out, because I'm like, okay, 1-for-1's limited, I need it. But when I took it out, breakthrough. So yeah, try this at your own risk. If you run level leader, because then at least you can ditch level leader. Maybe every once in a while you'll get that combo in your hand. Level leader plus 1-for-1's a combo. No, but you can also. It says send, which is just a heartbreaker. So yeah, you send something a monster to the graveyard, and then you can get level leader. Then you can start level eating stuff. But again, you don't really need to eat anything, and that's why I take it out of the deck. If you have Bryonic, and your build is really messy, level leader just makes it fun and makes fun. A lot of the starting masterpieces had level leader. It wasn't for a really long time that I took it out, and it was good that I did. So yeah, pure Fabled is the way to go. Take this as you will. I actually ran 0 crews at one time, and that worked out. But I'd say at least 1 cruise, because it's searchable. Okay, that's pretty much going to be the end of my video. I hope you liked this pretty long extended story of mine. Bacon, or you went ham on this video and just leave. And the comments kind of, I think it gets your videos more out there. I haven't really looked into it or whatever, but I know Mega Capital G reads all his comments, so your voice is always heard. If you comment on Philip DeFranco or any of those big names, your comment's not going to get read unless you get tons of thumbs up, and then you get lucky that they go online and see it. But always know that your comments are being heard by YouTube people, because I know I don't comment on videos unless I'm going to get to my question's going to get somewhere. But anyway, I don't want to ramble on too long. I really did want to explain this deck to you guys. I had a lot of requests for deck profile. You know, people are like, wow, that's really cool. You know, let's see it or something. And it was just I just did not have it in my heart to put the picture in the description. Although I could have done that. And everyone that PM'd me on Dueling Network, I send it to them right away. So you guys aren't getting this first. But people who ask for it will get it. And then if they want special advice or, you know, if they had questions or something, I would just be like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, yeah, I just thought that I would do it justice and make a video. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any more questions, or if you like more videos like this, where they're just kind of longer, you know, different, you know, setup after setup, definitely let me know. I mean, if there's something that I don't do good, keep it to yourself. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm the type of guy. I know it's crazy, but I kind of sometimes have a confidence issue where I see the glass kind of emptier than it is. Like, if I have like 100 likes and 10 dislikes, I'm just like, oh man, 10 dislikes. Just like, no, I'm terrible. Like, I must be doing something terrible. But I have 100 likes, and you know, I've always said before I made videos, I was like, oh well, if I have 10,000 likes and 50,000 dislikes, I'll be really happy with that. I would be happy with that. And I'd leave the, you know, ratings up and everything, and I'd be just a happy camper with 10,000 people that liked it, and then 50,000 other people like whatever, like, you know, the video wasn't for them, and you know, it's easy to say in theory, but then it's like, oh crap, you know, people don't like my videos, like oh crap, people don't like my videos, like this sucks, and you know, people call him hater, like Slim. He's like, oh, he's haters. And I think I'll probably make a video for Slim, because I think Slim, he's like, you know, he's like the spiritualist of Yu-Gi-Oh. He's the Yu-Gi-Oh spiritualist, or the Yu-Gi-Oh prophet or something. Like, you know, he has that like hardcore, like you know, like emotional, like, you know what I mean. And I think that's why he gets a lot of his views and likes, because people can relate to that stuff. So yeah, shout out to Slim, because he's a cool guy. And yeah, I hope to make more videos like this in the future, or you know, whatever videos in the future. And go ahead, leave a like. Go ahead, leave a like. No, because sometimes people will leave a comment, they'll say I like the video, but then the video will still have 4 likes, and it's had four likes for a month. So like, it's like, oh well, if you like, because seeing a video go from 4 likes to 5 likes is like euphoric to me. It's like, whoa, yes. It's like, yes, you know, like the first 4 was a fluke. Now I think maybe all 5 of them were legit, or something. So yeah, sometimes it just makes my day. Other than that, I think I'm getting on a rant topics. But yeah, other than that, thanks again for watching the videos. Playing this deck, as far as, you know, if it's in the FTK section of Yu-Gi-Oh, I'd say this has the most replay value of an FTK, because Triple Quasar is an FTK. I haven't lost with it yet, except when I deck out, because I just like to deck out. I just like to draw cards, and then when they aren't there, it's like, oh well, doesn't my graveyard get shuffled back into the deck, and then I draw that? It's like, no, it's like you lose. So you will lose like that sometimes. Or if they set a marshmallow, they just wait, and you lose. Not a marshmallow, a Spirit Reaper. Yeah, something like that. I think marshmallow has an effect that you can negate and kill it. So yeah, Spirit Reaper is what you need to set. Yeah, video responses are good too. I've never had a video response. That'd be awesome. Leave me maybe getting triple quasars with it, or double quasars. You know, I would like to, if you want to subscribe, I'm gonna have a couple more videos that are more quasar based. But yeah, I do like quasars. I like getting them. It's cool. And you know, guys, this deck is not very. It's not something that you guys gotta know. It's not like a derp kind of thing. In my videos, like, they're going very quick. You know, I have the video sped up for those of you who are like, wow, the speed at which you did this, ... smiley, wow. And, you know, if you're serious, it's like, you know, I speed up the videos. With this deck, especially when you first start out, you got to read all the stuff, realize what's going on. So when you ask me, hey, can you do this deck for me, or can you, it's like, send me a picture of your hand, and they send me the hand, and I tell them, but you got to learn to fish on your own. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. And if there's any tech choices you guys want to, you know, maybe help me out with my masterpiece, give me some polish, you know, because every nice statue needs some polish. Sometimes it gets weathered down by the ever-changing game and the meta. If you guys want to give me some polish or some tech choices, if there was a god card that I was missing, for example, I mean, I don't know how much more you would need to be like tier 0 as far as going first, because the windups used to loop your hand. They'd only win going first. They'd lose going second usually. I think this deck's a lot like that. I mean, if you've ever gone second and they go set 1, set 2, and it's like, oh crap, like the you know, my light ray deck can just eat that apart. But this Quasar build, it was honestly meant, it was built to make the video, and that's what the masterpiece is. Alright, that's it. I am done talking. My laptop's about to die. PM me on Dueling Network whenever you want. I will respond. That is it. Blue Eyes White. Oh yeah, and I'm thinking about you know, a line to, like, you know how the big YouTubers have like a line to, you know, sign out. That'd be cool if I had one of those. I'm out. Peace. And as always, subscribe for a cookie. I'm out. Peace.